Do you ever find yourself scrolling through YouTube, seeing all these different opportunities and side hustles that you think might be able to make you extra income, but you just get a sense you're overwhelmed? There's no clear direction as to where to start and why you would do that. I think I've got something that might help you.
I'm going to share the 3 golden rules that you need to follow to make sure that any side hustle you choose is going to be a success. There's so many different options out there, and these are the common ingredients that are going to make any of them successful. A lot of people get stuck thinking about whether or not they're going to work with one or the other, and the reality is, as long as you follow these 3 rules, they're all going to be okay. These 3 key ingredients are essential, and the 3rd one outlines the most common mistake that people make and the trap that they fall into. So stick around to the end of the video to find out what that is. Golden rule number 1, find a really painful problem for people. I can't emphasize this enough. That all of your focus needs to go into finding the problem first. Then you can worry about what the solution is second. Because even in your marketing, you're going to spend all of your time speaking about that problem to people. Highlight that you understand that you know where they are and what the problem is and how much they're missing out on not having the solution that you offer. Here's how to identify one. First of all, pay attention to your friends, your family, and your own experience with things. See where you get frustrated with the products and items that you use, or if you're going through a process and you feel like you're really lacking something that would help you out. That's a clue to the fact that there's a solution there that can be had. The second way to identify a painful problem is to research online. Look at review sites, look at social media, look at forums, research a certain topic and see if you can start to identify the common themes as to frustrations people are having. An example of a problem I thought about recently was that it's getting difficult for used car websites to price electric cars accurately for consumers. They're not quite sure about the data that they have for battery health, which is the key factor in determining what the value of a second-hand electric car should be. So someone that came up with a solution for that would be able to charge a healthy price for it. The third thing to do in relation to your problem is to evaluate the level of demand that people have for solving that problem. See how popular the product might be. Look at the data online that you can via Google Trends, via sales of similar products, and just via the level of attention it's getting on forums and similar sites that gives you a clue as to how desperate people are for a solution to this problem.
Golden rule number 2 is to provide a great solution. No matter what it is, make sure it is tailored to fit the problem that you found.
Listen carefully to the problem that people have and then design a solution that meets exactly what their needs are to solve that problem. Let me give you another example. If you were talking with your mates and they all liked a certain coat, but they weren't exactly sure that they wanted to buy it or that they were going to keep using it if they already had it, because they thought about how there's like an annoying collar on it that kind of gets in the way and the pockets don't really work for them. A lot of people would sort of agree and go along with them and not think a lot more of it. But you should be thinking about, okay, I can see there's a coat that people like, there's a lot of good ingredients there already, I can probably source something similar, but why don't I fix the problems that they've raised in order for me to provide a better solution? Because you've already evaluated the fact that there's a level of demand for this product, people are already buying it, you know your mates like it, so there's a level of understanding that there is going to be demand for your product, but you then go the next step by providing a better solution to the problem, and that's what's going to win you the sales. Another step that you can take within this second golden rule is that it's beneficial to you to test the solution to your problem before you go all in on it. So maybe source some samples, 10, 15 examples of a new coat, and then give them to your mates, give them to friends and family and say, what do you like about this and what don't you? And implement that feedback into a product that you develop. Golden rule number 3. Golden rule number 3 is the most important because it's about finding an effective way to reach your market. This is the one thing that most people end up getting wrong. It seems sort of obvious the advice I've given already that you need to find a problem and you need to solve it in order to have a successful business. But what might be less obvious is that you need to be very careful about choosing the right platform or the right channel to reach your ideal customer base. The mistake that a lot of people make is going to a platform that they're comfortable with. So a common example might be that you've heard of Shopify, you feel like it's easy to set up, and that that's a good way to supply a product to people. And I'm not saying that it's not, it could be very effective. But if you're selling something to, let's say, the age group of 50 and above, It may be that they're not so tech savvy, they're not so trusting when it comes to purchasing on the internet, and that you need to think about the channel that they spend most time on, or that they have the most trust in order for you to reach them with your product. So the underlying message, I guess, would be that you're trying to find a way to make it as simple as possible for your ideal customer to find and buy your product. Don't fall into the trap of just going with what you're comfortable with, or what the easiest way or the lowest cost way for you to supply the product is. So here are my pro tips to follow these 3 golden rules. Start small. Don't try and solve the biggest problem for the biggest number of people you can straight away. Start solving a problem for one person. Imagine you were sat in a room and your mum or dad told you they had this one problem and that's what you were trying to fix for them. And then scale that, because the likelihood is that if you solve it effectively for one person, it's quite transferable that you would solve it for a larger group of people. Don't get too caught up on thinking about which of these is the perfect side hustle to start. It's just not worth your time to worry too much about which side hustle you might choose, whether you're developing a product, developing a service, just transferring your existing skill set from a full-time role. All you need to do is match what your customer's problem is with a solution that you can offer them in a channel that they trust and that they are happy to buy from you. Don't overthink the process and think there's only one perfect side hustle. It's about applying your marketing skills correctly in order that any that you choose could work.